Hi, this is Dave from Retired Time Productions, and welcome to the Polaris XL build project, part 2. Alright, while we're waiting for the horizontal stabilizer to dry, let that spar dry, I'm going to go ahead and cut the elevator bevel for the hinge. So I'm coming back here just a little bit, looks like somewhere around 7 millimeters back from the edge, and then I'm going to cut on a 45. Now this is a ruler with a cork back on it, and that'll keep it in place pretty good. Hopefully I won't cut any fingers off. And I started with a brand new sharp X-Acto blade. It's always important. There is the bevel, and it's pretty close to 45. Now this is not included in the kit, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little piece of carbon fiber on here since I have some spare carbon fiber. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece right across here just to stiffen up the elevator. So to do that, I'm just going to cut a little line to insert it into, just a millimeter deep, maybe not even a millimeter. Now it has to be between the edge of this hole right here and the edge of the bevel, so it's going to be right about there. Don't want it to get in the way of the horn, control horn, so we'll just put it right there. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of the tip, not even that much, just a tiny little bit of the tip, and make a line across there. And up against the ruler, right all the way down. There. Hopefully that's straight, and then we'll just press fit in this. I can try to get that carbon fiber in there. One thing we could do is take a piece of piano wire, whatever we got handy, and just run that down through it to make sure the crack is open. Just doing that, making sure that that slice is all the way open. Now we'll just center up the carbon fiber. Yeah, so that'll drop right in there, no problem. I'm just going to have a piece of wood ready. Let's use a tongue depressor, so we can just do this when we get the glue in there. Okay. Now we'll put a little CA on it. This time I'm going to use my glasses, my magnifying glasses. I can really see what's going on here. Alright. A little CA. Doesn't take a lot. Just like that. Okay, we'll center up the carbon fiber. Like that. Press it in there. And this will help keep this elevator flat too. So now let's just give it a little spritz with some of this stuff here, kicker. Make sure you use foam safe glue, by the way, because otherwise you might have troubles. I'm keeping this flat while I'm doing this too. And that kicker will harden that glue pretty quick. Alright, so it's in there. Now I don't know about you, but when I'm putting planes into the car, sometimes the first thing I do is try to stick the tail in first. Or I might put the nose in first, but either way, when I'm carrying it to the car, I might hit the tail on the doorway or something and dent this rear surface of the elevator. So I'm seriously thinking about laminating this Depron. So it's 1.7 actually. There it is, 1.7 CP right there. That's the laminating film. Shiny on one side, and then it has a coating or glue on the other side. And once you start cutting it, you can actually hold it and just drag the scissors if it works out well. Just go right across like that, and you got a piece. Okay, let's give this a try. I've got the dial set here about in the middle, maybe close to the center. And I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can laminate this film. I just got to make sure I got the shiny side up. Shiny side up. If you ever touch the iron to the glue side, it makes a mess. Okay. So I'm just going to start by going across the middle. Now that looks like it's stuck pretty good. It's almost invisible. Alright, so now I'm going to stretch it a little bit here. And I'm going to start working my way out to the outside. Sorry about my arm getting in the way. It's a necessary thing. Alright, just working to the other direction. Yeah, I'm going right around the hinge surface. Right where that bevel is. I'm going to protect that too. Okay, now let's go around this side. I think the hinge side is the most important to do first, because we want to make sure that is taut. Good and tight, in other words. I'm pulling it tight. Get that. Just pulling it this direction. I want to make sure we pull it away from the hinge edge, and don't put too much heat on that little thin edge because it might melt. I don't see it melting, but it could. So just doing that. Yeah, it might be curling a little bit there, but it's not bad. Okay. Alright, so that's not bad. I mean, it might have melted the edge a tiny bit, but I can't really knock it. I think it's going to be well worth it later when I bump this thing against something and it won't shatter. Okay, now let's go ahead and wrap the next one around. Now to do this one, we're going to have to cut a slit, because as you know, this thing has an angle to it, has a point on it. So I'm going to have to go to that point and just cut a slit right there, and then do one half at a time. Just pick any half. I'll just do this half. Alright. Basically it's the same thing. We want to get this edge down like that, and then work from there and get the top. Working on the top, I started on the bottom. Don't know if you noticed that, but I started on the bottom. Okay, there's the top. Now, I'm not worried too much about the ends. It's mostly just the edge there that I want to get there. See, there's a little material left on the ends, and I can just cut that off. Okay, so I'll trim off this extra material and touch up the ends a little bit, and then we'll be done. Okay, so I trimmed off the extra material. Now I'm just laminating the ends right here with a little bit of lamination, just to protect all those edges from dings. So I just got done laminating the horizontal stabilizer and this little vertical stabilizer. And I used the 1.7 mil lamination film from Aloft Hobbies as usual, and my iron set to about the middle position here, maybe a little more than middle. But I laminated both sides, there and there. Now what I didn't laminate was this section that's going to be glued down. I drew a line the shape of the pedestal and just didn't laminate that section. And I also didn't laminate this little stripe down the middle here where I'm going to be gluing on the vertical stabilizer later, like that. And I used, of course, a sanding block to round the leading edges of these surfaces so that the wind blows over it better. And then all I have to do is add my elevator across here with some tape. Because this packing tape sticks so well to the lamination that I put on the foam, I think I'm going to use it instead of Blenderm. A lot of people use Blenderm, but this packing tape really adheres to the lamination well. So I think that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just taping the hinge down. I put one strip here and one strip here, and now I'm going to do the whole length with packing tape. So the packing tape just made a tremendously strong hinge. So I don't think I'm going to need to even tape the bottom because it's laminated on the bottom too. And I mean, it just doesn't move. It's on there really good. So one strip of packing tape I think has got it. And of course I added that extra little piece of carbon fiber there to keep everything stiff so it doesn't bend. So I think that will do. If it doesn't, I'll add some more later, but I think that'll be just fine. So we're done laminating the tail and hinging the elevator. Let's move on to assembling the main wing in part 3. Here, play.